Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. It's Ro Couture DeSaro here with the lovely Marie Maglio of
Hello,
Proper
everyone.
Palette. Say hello.
Hello, how's everybody doing this afternoon?
Awesome. Going fast today for me. I know that.
It's going
And
fast.
going fast. Well, I'm traveling tomorrow, so you know how it is. The day before you travel is always like
Hmm.
the day before vacation. It's always crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are here. We wanted to talk about today because we see this so much and there's really no reason for it, and it's stopping women in their tracks from really being successful in any area of their life, whether it's business, whether it's your personal life, your relationships, whether it's what you personally want to achieve for yourself, like with Marie, could be your health goals, your fitness goals, and all these different things. And should we tell them what that is?
Well, I think we should.
Okay.
We embarked on this journey because Ro and myself have been working on ourselves, going in, we call it, going in rather than focusing on the outside world. Let's face it, the world will keep on spinning. Who's that song? Who sang that? The world will keep on spinning. I think it was Journey,
Journey.
whoever it was. Yeah. So the world's always going to keep changing, and people are going to go about their lives and do what they have to do. But really what it comes down to is typically when you have inner conflict, right? So inner conflict can manifest and show up in different ways in your life and your business. And typically how that happens is if, let's say you have a bad day, that bad day then turns into a bad couple of days, a bad week, a bad month, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, you're living in this demeanor that you don't even recognize yourself, and maybe your friends and family don't recognize either.
Mm.
That is letting the outside world control your inside world, right?
And that leads to what we're talking about today is where are you giving your power away?
That's
And are
right.
you feeling powerless at times? And are you giving your power away and what to do about it? So that's what we're here today.
Yeah, I think most of us know that we have given our powers away. Think about a scenario. Put yourself in a situation where you say, okay, maybe you got peer pressured as a kid into doing something, or maybe you're in the boardroom and you don't really want to speak up, right, Ro? You could speak more to that,
Mhm.
right? Where
Mhm.
they're basically, you're going with the status quo rather than really going with what's in your heart. And I think that is not, I don't even like that word. I believe what happens with women is that we always take a back seat. I had an epiphany over this past weekend. As I do introspective work on myself, I come to realize that I have basically changed my identity multiple times for my outside surroundings, whether it be relationships, friendships, whatever that may be. I was becoming a chameleon. And now I've realized that I have so much love for myself and for what I want to do, what the imprint is I want to have on this world, that I no longer want to compromise how what's truly in my heart and what my needs and desires are, right? So I want to put myself forward. And you know what? I understand that loved ones do matter to you, but at the end of the day, this is it. All we have is
So
ourselves.
yeah, so what do you say to the person who says, "I get that, I hear that, but I don't wanna leave other people out. I don't saying like, "I matter. It's all about me, and, like, I'm not going
Mhm.
to compromise." So what about when people say it's like, "Well, isn't that I'm being mean if I don't compromise?" Like, isn't compromise a part of way of life? What would you say to someone about that?
I do believe that we need to compromise in certain situations, and really what you need to do is really feel that in your heart to say, you know what? I don't want to hurt this individual's feelings right now because I understand that they're in a different place. What I always say is the vibration level, right? So typically there's one or two things that are going to happen in life. You're going to be at a level here with your vibration, your energy, and someone's going to be here. So one or two things have to happen. You either have to come down to their level or they have to come up to your level. So it's either or. And what happens is when we compromise a little bit, we never want to go down, right? So that's the key. We never want to go down. So if you're in a situation where, let's say you have a partnership in your business and you and your partner in business aren't seeing eye to eye, and you need to compromise on a few things. Well, that makes sense, but you should never, ever compromise to a point where it sacrifices your mental health, your physical health, and health in general, right? Because that's what I focus on. So if you compromise and then you end up being miserable because of it, what did you really accomplish, right?
Right. And in the business world, that shows up in values. And if you compromise your values for trying to feel like you did the right thing for the client, more often than not, you're actually being a disservice to your client rather than being a service to your client. And I know when my vibration is high and I'm just with my husband, like my vibration could be high because of my business, let's say, and
Hmm.
then I'm having dinner with him. He picks up on my high vibration, and I notice suddenly he changes and he starts like raising his vibration just because he's in the presence of me being in my higher vibration. So, it's a very fine line, but it's when you understand who you are and when you have the self-love like you're talking about, right?
Yes.
You get that, and there's a gentleman out there, and he's teaching this course right now. It's on focus and distractions, which is so needed in this world. And he
Yeah.
calls it indistractable. He created his own little world, but it's like to be indistractable. And that is where, we need to almost get to that point because if you know who you are, no one is going to be able to distract you or deter you or move you away from that basic foundation.
Yes.
If you're making a compromise for certain situation, you're making that compromise, but you're making a compromise from a place of power
Yes. Very
versus
different.
making a compromise from this place of all over the map, or I'm just giving in, or I'm the female so I'm being weak. And what I'm always saying is that what women the reason why it shows up more for women is because when things don't go our way, we give this shame-based meaning, identification to it,
Yeah.
definition to it, and we identify that it's us that's creating the problem, that we're wrong, we are weak versus looking at the situation. And so they
Yeah.
immediately blame themselves and not the outside and not everything else. Where it's the opposite. So how do we what is let's give like say one tip on how can somebody tap into their power, not give their power away. What is one thing that they can do maybe and if you want to do it a daily basis one or one in a certain situation, whatever comes to you. We're going organic with this because that's how
Yeah.
Marie and I roll a lot
Sure.
of times from our intuition. We know generally what we're here to speak about, but I know there's when it comes to this, there's so many things we can do. So we're not going to be here for hours and hours. We're here because we want to show you one, because we do have something at the end of that we want to bring you to and share with you, and that we're so excited about. But let's go here first, and then we'll tell you all about what we're happy about. Uh, what's one thing that comes to your mind?
Well, one thing that comes to my mind is getting quiet with themselves. It's always going to come back to being by yourself. And what does that look like? I understand that there are some women that have children, they have spouses, they have older parents. There are circumstances outside of us, but there's never a situation where we're never alone. Okay. So, in those rare, if they are rare moments, take
Hmm.
those rare moments, whether they be in the car. I'm sure you're showering alone every day, right? I always call it the profound thoughts and dreams usually come to us when we're in the shower or when we're driving in the car. It's usually when we're doing something monotonous that when our mind just frees up, we have the ability to really tap into our heart. So when you have that time alone, just get silent with yourself and really listen and think of things that perhaps that you haven't been saying out loud, meaning out loud or to yourself. So things that perhaps you might have been squashing down because you're afraid of what society will say. You're afraid of what your boss will say, of your partner, your spouse, your whomever, your children. And in the business world, we know that you have to speak up for yourself as a woman. You know,
Hmm.
right? How many times have you taken, which just said it, women take a back seat a lot of times.
Yep.
We are becoming a bit more empowered. However, it is not healthy for us to keep silent with what's truly in our heart. So when you get silent with yourself, the goal is to find out what's in your heart, right? You want to know what's in here. Does it match my thoughts? If it doesn't match your thoughts, that means you're not in coherence. So you just need to do some deep work on yourself. And again, we will get into that
Yeah.
with what Ro was talking about. But getting silent with yourself, and don't be afraid to be by yourself.
And you know what I
Listen to
love?
your
For me,
thoughts.
it's usually when I wake up in the morning because as my body was rested, it recovered, it
Hmm.
recouped. And especially if I went to bed with asking a question or opening that
Hmm.
curiosity part of my brain and then going to sleep and then I wake up and I
Yep.
don't jump out of bed anymore. I lay in bed. And when I lay in bed, it's the most beautiful things come to me. That is my quiet time. That's my peace time because nobody's there. And the birds are singing now at this time of the year, which is lovely, and it's just really, really
Yeah.
nice. So we want to hear. I know I'm going to announce something right now, but we do want to hear in the comments because this is going a little bit in our Facebook group as well. We do want to hear in the comments, where are you giving away your power? What questions do you have for us? Even if you're watching and it's on the replay, just put hashtag replay and then tell us, and Marie and I will answer those questions sometime today. So, because if you may be watching the replay tonight, so we will be checking in. But we want to
Yep.
hear it. Want to hear, where do you think you're giving away your power? Is this an issue that you're finding? Is it more? Is it different? Like sometimes, like you're giving away your power in the business world, but at home, you are the queen of your domain, and you're not giving away your power because it is can be a situational thing. So let's have this conversation. Let's open it up. And Marie and I would love to have this conversation because there's so many places where you could be giving your power away, and this society has taught us and programmed us and conditioned us to not see where we're doing that and to not realize that we have access to our own power at any given time. That I have exercises that I do to call forth your power like this,
Well,
and you
that's
can
why
step
quantum
into your power.
physics was invented, right? They had to bring
Yes.
quantum physics into it because, the whole thing of the particle and how it's split and on the screen, and it's the eye of the observer who creates the reality on the outside. So, not to get too deep or technical, but that is quantum theory. This is principle. This is not some foo-fooey, flighty, well, you got to meditate. We love that stuff. However, this is scientific, neurological. It is in our brains, it is in our body, it is in everything that we do, every fiber of our being, and it is quantifiable, my friends. So
Yes.
when we start putting these things into practice, our outside world is going to change
Hmm.
drastically, drastically.
And then you'll start to discover the real truth of what the foundation of success really is. And it's not the outside world. It's not the external world.
Hmm.
It's not all these things. It's, when you really could start tapping into really what matters the most to you, that's where you could start manifesting it to show up. And what we've noticed with Marie and I, and I'm thrilled that I'm starting to see this, where when I first started coach, I've been empowering women for 40 years, but I started really coaching women for this, stepping into their power almost 8 years ago. And back then, I literally switched to business coaching and doing more business strategy because women simply were not investing in themselves, into this inner work, into personal development, into spirituality, into, you know, unless they were really foo foo, and woo woo, they were doing it. But outside of that, the businesswoman, I'm a CEO, I'm power woman. They were like, that's not for me. That's,
Yeah.
I'm strong. And they bulldoze their way to success, and now they wake up like, "What happened?" "I'm stressed out, I'm overwhelmed, I'm not fulfilled, I'm not even happy." And so it comes to one of 2 things. It's either you bulldozed your way and you're that, or you just shied away from it. So now what I'm seeing coming forward, and especially with COVID being that, year of reflection that we all did, I'm seeing women now understanding and realizing, and especially because there's so many more coaches and so many more people coming forward with this message. But I'm seeing where women are investing in themselves, but they're investing themselves in mindset. They're investing themselves in like personal development. But here's the problem that we're seeing now, Marie and I. We've had lengthy discussions on this. What we're seeing is that women think it's a one and done thing. That if I learn about if I love myself and I get self-acceptance and I do some mindset work and mind over matter, then I will be successful. Marie,
No,
is that
that is
true?
so, it is so the opposite. It's so the opposite. I could speak for myself only. I have began my journey years ago. We're talking like 2015 and or even earlier than that. And I'm still learning every day. So if you have the mindset that, okay, I just want to just promise me I'm going to just need to do this and then I won't have to do any more. It's never the case because now you're going in with expectation, which is a perfect quick segue while we have a few minutes here.
Yep.
When you have expectation in life, you are guaranteed to be disappointed. Not only are you going to be disappointed, you're putting yourself in a little box. You are
You
not,
could be
you're
setting yourself
setting,
up for failure.
absolutely. And you're setting yourself up to play small, as Rose
Yep.
says it. I love that expression because it's so true. You're going to play small in life, your health, your family, wherever it is that you want to have fulfillment, you will be stifled because you do not have an open enough mind to realize that this is such a process. Listen, you could get there within one session of something, and then all of a sudden it just clicks, and then you're off and running. Some people, it may take 15 years. Shit, I think it's
And
probably
then
taken
when
me
we
about 20.
grow, right, but when we grow, as we grow, new things show up. And we're in a different level. We're seeing things differently. Our perception is different. Our identity is different, and new things changing.
Absolutely.
And as like from a business standpoint, as scaling your business, this is what happened to me. I reached a certain level, and then I was stuck at that level. It was like I got to like that six figure, and I
Yeah.
couldn't get like I couldn't break the plane to go higher. And what happened at that level was all of a sudden I wasn't feeling smart enough. I was smart enough to do this. I wasn't smart enough to do like, whoa, like I'm gonna have to have employees now. This is like the real deal.
Yeah, because you have
And
responsibility. It's scary, right?
yes, it's
Yeah.
scary. So, and I know we have only I have 2 minutes here, but and this is what we're going to be talking about. So, good news, bad news. The good news is that no, I'm going to tell you the bad news. The bad news.
Just hit them with the bad,
I
which isn't
always
really
like the
that
bad
bad.
news first. Now, the
Yeah.
bad news is it's not a one and done. The bad news is that, real personal development, real peak performance, real striving to be your best and if you want to have it all and you really striving for that, and that's who this we're putting this challenge together for, that is something that you're going to be doing and tweaking and growing and changing for the rest of your life. The good news is that what it takes to get there is the same thing that you apply to all areas of your life. So you don't need to figure this out for the relationship world. Then
Yeah.
I need to figure it out for my health world. Then I need to figure it out for my business world. Then I need to figure it out for my love world. Then I need to no. It's one kind of goes to all areas. So that's how you do shorten the curve. So that's the good news. And what we're doing, because we're seeing that women have taken now a lot of basic mindset courses and intuition and meditation, some basic stuff. We're putting together a challenge. We're calling it the Be Yourself Challenge. And we're putting this together from an advanced standpoint. So we are going to go deep. We're going to go, we're going to take it to that next level. We want to show you what that next level looks like so that you could break through that unknown of like, well, what does that really mean? Like I'm a mindset coach. And let me tell you, we've done this stuff with mindset coaches and they're blown away. I
Yes,
mean, I was blown
yes.
away. I've been a personal development geek my whole life. And what the work I've done in the last 5 years with
Same.
my spirituality, with my neuroscience and everything else blows away everything else. And you know what's so interesting? Like great my like the mentors of the 80s that I grew up with, the Jack Canfields, the Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar's, well, bless his heart, he's not here anymore with on earth. But like Jack Canfield is here. I recently saw him, same message. He's teaching the same things. And people are still growing with that. But we want to go higher. We want to take you higher. So we want to invite you June 28th to July 2nd. Be Yourself Challenge. It's going to be in the Facebook group. It's going to be at 3 p.m., 3 to 4 p.m. We're going to be having these great conversations and teachings and all of that. And then we're going to go into a Q&A. It's going to be free, although we do have a VIP upgrade. If you want to be the one that we answer your questions, we laser coach you and have that opportunity. And then we have some other bonuses. You'll get the information once you sign up, but have some other bonuses. Then this is the place for you. This is the place for you. This is the place for, where you can really come on board and get that clear pathway so that you could really master your life, and get rid of what you learn how to start to become aware of what you've been pre-programmed with and conditioned with and what's real and what's not real, right?
Yeah, we're unwinding the ball of twine that's in your brain and in your heart, and we're going to connect it in a different way. We're going to take it apart, find its flaws. I don't even like to use the word flaws, but we're going to do it together. And I'm really excited to be able to bring you this with Ro because, like I said, our journeys have been going, for decades, and we just want to continue to do so. So.
Yeah. So, Marie, can you type in the link? It's the
Sure.
bit.ly, it's / it's BYC capitalized June, J capitalized 2021. So BYC capital June, just the J in June 2021. That'll get you all the information, and we want to see you there. Where the Facebook group now is open, and we're going to be in this Facebook group all week, this week, next week. A lot of doing some pre-commitment stuff, some pre-trainings, getting you ready, getting you set up, and then we're going to go full steam ahead on the June 28th. So we'll cover the basic stuff for these 2 weeks, but some of you that might be new too. But we want to make sure you have that solid foundation so that we could go deep. We're going to have fun, and I'll see you there. Okay.
Yes, we will see you there. Thank you so much, ladies. We'll see you
Thank
soon.
you. Remember, post in your comments, what is it that you want what would you like to see in this challenge? And where are you giving your power away? Let's have that conversation. Let's get that started. All right.
I'm
I'll see you all
ready.
there.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.